Semifinals will be played on, as we see on the screen here. There, Dry Arabia will be the semifinals map, and so in the finals it will be a best of 3 series, and then they will be able to draft out of these 5 maps. So each player will be able to ban one of the maps, and then they kind of draft a whole map, which means the one map that is then remaining will be the starting map, and then depending on who loses, they can then choose the next map to play on, up to 3 games. So my guess would be that Carmel and Rocky River get banned, but we'll see. We had weirder things happen before. So okay, the draft is done. So Abbasid, Bucephale is going to play Abbasid, and Meowasis is going to play Rus on Dry Arabia. Cool stuff. Yeah, sure. Let's see. Okay, browsing custom. So they haven't started yet. DJP and Dirtus have also started to draft. DJP said he'll invite. Okay, Delhi against Malians. So DJP playing Delhi, and Dirtus is playing the Malians. That would also be a fun matchup. Hmm. Well, let's put it this way. Whoever is starting their game first is going to get casted. Granted they put it observable. That's the one thing. Um, but yeah, so this part, not the first part where I was playing, but like this part will be put on YouTube. So we have a variety of videos on YouTube. Let's do uh, a little self promo here. So Rising Empires, we are hosting weekly tournaments for basically all skill levels, excluding only the highest of highest players. So basically, if you're anywhere between Bronze and Conqueror 1, you can join our free weekly tournaments. We usually have a pretty good map pool. I do like this map pool this week, so it's more or less like this. We'll have a hybrid map. We'll have a custom fun map like Bridges this week, and the rest of the maps will consist of ladder maps. And then we also have Dry Arabia, which is just the all-time classics. And we usually have 3 brackets this time because we only had a few players. We only were able to do 1 bracket. But the more players we get, the fairer, more balanced the matchups will be, obviously. And we also roughly 2 times a month, every other week, host the Warchief Club, which is an open tournament. So there's no cap there in terms of elo, which means you can gain ATR for tournament rating. You can also win money there, and you can compete against some really good players. For example, we had players like Myriad, Saz, Valdemar has been playing there a couple times, MSNDK. So all the players that, or some of the players that you don't know from streaming, or from being top of the ladder and relevant in high level tournaments. If they have time, they sometimes grace us with their presence. So there you can also compete against higher Conqueror level players, and see how you're doing against them. So yeah, with that, let's see. So Meowasis is in game, and DJP is also in game. So both are on the way. We haven't casted Dirtus, and we haven't. Yeah, we haven't casted Dirtus, and I did play once against DJP. So that would be fun to see him play the Delhi now. So Delhi Mali or Abbasid Rus. I'm favoring Delhi Mali, I have to say. So let's see if that is available. It is. Let's hit that. Entering the game, just loading it up. There shouldn't be any more observer delay. I think we talked over that. So we should be able to jump right into it. Hopefully. There you go. Let's pause that for just a second and switch that over. And there we have it. So first game of the two semi-finals, DJP playing the Delhi Sultanate in red, opening with the mosque standard stuff here. Dirtus playing the Malians, also on wood for now, just for the houses around the pit mine. Not really any surprise here. Actually, in fact, let me change that here. Screen edge panning, so that will make for a better experience when I hover around the screen like crazy. Then moving out on the berries here. So yeah, pretty standard opener here for Delhi. When I played that the other game, I almost forgot that. And so I didn't go on wood initially, and I had to re-macro quickly just to make sure that I have enough for the house and the mining camp and the mosque. Because you do have to, like the mosque is you have to go for it. There's no way around that. That's 100 wood. Then you have to go for the mill. Again, also because of the tax, which he should be going for right now. That's another 50. Then you need a house, obviously. That's another 50. So there you're at the 200. And then you need 50 more for a mining camp. And that's why you need to go on wood initially. With the Malians, it is a little bit... It's different, but still the same. In the sense that you can go for the pit mine. That's 150 wood. And that's what you need at the beginning. And what you have at the beginning as well. But then you also need the houses. By the way, I'm gonna remove my face here because I'm not relevant anymore. And yeah, and so that's why you need to go on wood at the beginning. You usually chop one tree completely, and then you can... I'm lazy, so I'll go for the second one, and then I already have enough wood to go for the mining camp and for a mill. Because you're running into, like, you will have a lot of gold, so you can actually do something similar to the French with the Dark Age wheelbarrow. And because it takes a while, like, you already have enough gold, and you still take, even though you have 12 on food, it still takes you a while. So I like to be lazy, just chop two trees completely, and then I have enough to close that up here, put a mining camp here, a mill here, and then you don't go on the berries immediately, but you then have it here already for the tax, and then later on for the cow boom, which usually players go for the cow boom. That's the most standard one. So yeah, a little bit too much gold, of course. Dome of the Faith is already coming up here. So both civs tend to have a slower feudal age, just because they need to do some additional things which other civs don't need to do. But they'll catch up very quickly once they hit feudal age, because then things get really interesting for both civs. Monster Quarry coming up. Again, also, no surprise here, that's the standard one. The Saharan Trade Network, you could go for it, especially on a map like Dry Arabia, where the trade posts can be really good. Like, they're a little bit forward here for you, so, like for Malians, so probably don't want to do like this diagonal route here. But you could, and then it boosts your trade and things like that. So you could, you know, in some kind of universe, you might go for that. Or if you're getting aggressed on really heavily, and then you might have another gold over here, and then you just put it here to protect yourself. But in 99% of the games, you will go for the Monster Quarry. Same for the Dome of the Faith. There's a world where you might go for the Tower of Victory. I've seen it a couple times, even on higher level play in the last few weeks or months. But again, like 99 out of 100 games, Dome of the Faith is the preferred landmark. It just gives you a lot of value. On paper, the funny thing is, on paper it doesn't look like that actually. Like, at least if you ask me, it's like, well, you get cheaper scholars. Okay, cool. I mean, I can just go for another mosque for 100 wood, and then I can just have two mosques. One produces scholars, one produces the research. But it actually is a lot of value. It doesn't, again, on paper, to me at least, it doesn't look like a lot of value, but just play it and you'll know. You know, if you know, you know. Yeah. Malians, Dirtus also reaching feudal age. Let's see, there's a gold far out here, but not too bad. You can actually take the wood wall here, a wood line, and wall it off here. So it actually, even though it's super far away, it actually is fairly safe. Probably a lot safer than this one here. Like again, you could also beeline between the wood line and the stone outcropping, and then the gold, and then maybe you take that one, or well, actually you probably just go over then to the wood line here. But it's more difficult to wall this one in. Same for this one. So a good secondary gold. I'm not sure if DJP. Okay, DJP did scout that already, so he knows about that. I think he knows. Wow, he knows about all the golds actually. That's cool. So he knows about every gold, and he can be really aggressive if he wants to, and if he does so, then he would find some valuable raids there. We do have the Ghazi Raider, and Scholar is unstable there as well. So he was a little bit delayed here with the tax, and that's why he doesn't have the horticulture yet. But well, actually, I guess yeah, he probably wouldn't have it either way. But he has 2 mil, so he can simultaneously research Pro Scouts. So he might actually go for Pro Scouts, which again, last game I didn't do that because I was not interested in that. I was interested in killing the opponent and just being aggressive. I could have done that, like with a little bit more APM. Like that's the one thing which was kind of preventing me from doing that. I was not interested in spending that APM. But we could actually see Pro Scouts coming from Delhi. They're really good at that too, just because they get it for free. And so with the last time that Pro Scouts was touched, the cost was increased, and that basically buffed it for Delhi. I mean, yeah, they also changed the research time for them just to reflect the change in cost. But it's still like overall like more valuable for them because now it maybe takes like 20 more seconds, but you still get it for free, and the other ones have to pay 300 gold for it, which is a lot, especially in the early game. So double the second stable coming up. Dirt is playing with the sofa right now, which they are good, but the Ghazi Raiders, they do a little bit bonus damage against heavy units. And so if DJP doubles down on the Ghazi Raiders, and he can just heal them up again with the Scholars, very nicely done here. I'm not sure if the sofa work that great. I mean, I trust Dirtus knows what he's doing, but this would be the moment where I switch into Donzo, not into Archers. Like that's what I would do. And that's the thing, like Malians cannot heal in feudal age, and DJP can, because of the Scholars. And so as long as he doesn't lose the Ghazi Raiders, he'll do more and more damage. We have 2 so far already dangerously low, and yeah, that could be trouble for Dirtus. Again, I don't see the value for the archers here at the moment. They don't counter anything right now, so curious to see that. So far going down, so DJP getting ahead here, slight edge in army value. Archer dealing with the wolf for now. Villagers might be in trouble here, so DJP doesn't have a scout with him at the moment, so it's not really. Yeah, he doesn't see a lot right now, but yeah, just the idle time really nice. If we look at what Dirtus is doing, he already has 5 cows in the cattle ranches. There's another one coming up. I don't know why it's green, by the way. Sometimes it's green. I haven't figured out why it's sometimes green. But yeah, so 6 cows already. There's finally the barracks. So was also doubling down on the sofa, but now realized that the longer it goes like that, he cannot really keep up with the Ghazis. Even though he's heavily investing into army right now. 10 sofa already against 9 Ghazi Raiders. Malians also not going for pro scouts, so DJP actually moving now into. It looks like he's moving to pro scouts. He has 4 scouts and 3 more in queue, and so I guess that's the value of the archers. You can just decap the sacred side with it. But then again, you can do the same with one sofa, and that's, I don't know. It works both ways, I guess. DJP also going for archers, just in anticipation of the Donzo, which we have 1 in queue now. Or, yeah, there it is. So, yeah, Malians pushing ahead a little bit in terms of army value. Which also is a little bit skewed for Delhi because the scholars also count into the army value. But yeah, there we see Delhi Pro Scouts just getting playing it a little bit conservative here, just taking his own 2 deer packs. Okay, I mean, yeah, I guess you can't really take that one here, and this one is walled in, so which he doesn't know about the wall yet, so he could try to be sneaky and try to grab them, but he wouldn't. It could work. It is very risky, but it technically could work. Let's see. Are they moving? There they are, moving into each other. Sofa, Donzo, Sofa Ghazi push here. Archers moving just a little bit too forward and getting sacrificed here. There's a couple spearmen. Also, they're hardened. Trying to brace, but oh man, that is unfortunate here. Bracing, but nothing is happening here, and now the sofa can just move back again. Didn't really lose anything here, I think. So overall, doing a little bit of damage here to DJP, which again can be negated if you just take a scholar. There you have it. There's a scholar. You can just heal it up. If you just move it into the sacred side circle, then you can capture it and heal at the same time. Scary looking Malian army. There's the scouting archer losing his life. Ghazi Raider pretty low, trying to circle around, finding all the archers, and it just takes so long to get around there. And before you do more than 2 hits, all of these Ghazi Raiders, and just like that, completely evaporated, melting in front of our eyes. Look at this bloodbath. So many units lost. Yeah, the destroyed value 3,500 to 600. So Dirtus reading the situation extremely well, and DJP falling into that trap to, you know, wanting to kill the archers, which it does make sense, of course, usually to go against the unit that you're countering. But at the same time, if you move out like that, you only have a handful of spearmen. They deal well with the sofa, but they're just getting outnumbered and killed and sniped by the archers, which is also easier if you move away your Ghazis, because then they're an easier target. What are these 2 guys doing, by the way? Looks like a bad rap battle, basically. But yeah, so in this situation, I think it actually would have been better to just keep the Ghazi Raiders as the front line, try to kill the sofas, because they're the high value unit here. If Dirtus only has archers and Donzos, he will not really be able to do anything with that. He will not be able to raid. He will not be able to really pressure that a lot. And so the sofa, that's where, you know, where the party begins. And if you just kill them, like, they're all so low. Like, just, yeah, I think it would have been better to just stand your ground, auto attack the Ghazi with the Ghazis onto the sofa. You kill a lot of sofa, and then they're not as easily able to kill your archers, because that's the thing. You expose your archers, you expose your spearmen, and then your Ghazi Raiders, they die while they're trying to circle around. So a really bad fight here for DJP. Dirtus again reading it really well, decapturing the sacred sites. So currently DJP doesn't have a single sacred site. If we're looking at resources, he does have enough gold. to go up to the castle age. He doesn't have the food yet. He walled himself in on the left side, also walling himself in here on the bottom side. Don't like these kind of walls, I gotta admit. I'm fairly certain they don't work like that. In H2 they did work like that. You could actually build buildings and they would function as a wall. I'm not sure if that actually works. I mean, I never tried that, so. But yeah, usually shouldn't work. I would just take the stone instead, build a wall to the stone, because that works. And at the same time, Dirtus also walling himself in here. Just his fourth of the map. This part is safe. This one is getting walled in. I would love to. I would love to see some gates. I mean, once this wall is finished, he will not have a way to move out again. I'm sure he'll realize that fairly soon. But yeah. Another thing, I don't know if DJP actually built the walls with the military units, because as Delhi you can do that, which is pretty funny. I also don't always do that. It just depends on the situation you're in. So like sometimes you need your units to be in a certain place or to fight, and then building walls is not as important. Especially if it's just like a small wall here, it doesn't really matter that much. Scouts trying to get on top of the deer here, but yeah, it's getting walled in. You will not get this part here. This one is the last deer, and then this deer pack is gone as well. So Pro Scouts basically has done its job. And House of Learning is coming up. There it is. Yeah, Dirtus also reached Castle Age, so there's the Grand Fulani Corral. He does have 17 currently out of 20 potentially garrisoned, you know, put into the cattle ranches. So yeah, he's going up to, truly going up to Castle Age by getting the veterancy. And House of Learning, 22 villagers, so this is coming up fast. We have four scholars garrison, not a whole lot at the same time. Veterancy kicked in already, so we're having veteran units against feudal age units, and scholar trying to get to the relic. And this is looking really grim. The spearmen here will die against the archers, and the veteran sofas will be able to just circle around and potentially just raid the ever-loving, whatever you want to call it, out of TJP. Good fight here by Dirtus, just for the fact that he was Castle Age and his opponent was not. DJP in this situation didn't need to fight. It would have been a lot better, I think, to just pull back, get your upgrades. It takes a while. Like, it still takes half a minute, but Vololo attempt here, a good attempt. Oh, imagine that would have gone through. That would be a game changer. But yeah, a sofa and archers on top here. There's also one or two, or a couple of javelin throwers as well. A couple Donzo here. Yeah, just raiding him. Now killing another Vololo attempt here. Scholars dying, trying to pick up the relics. Losing a couple of scholars and losing the game. So Dirtus, who is also a regular War Chief Club and top bracket contestant, winning this one half of the semi-finals in a very convincing manner. Wasn't producing villagers for a while. Okay, I'm not sure what happened there. I think he went a little too heavy on military here, trying to keep up with the Delhi. But so yeah, you can see even a high level diamond conqueror, whatever he is, player forgot to build villages for how long is that? That's a solid 3 minutes, I would say. Okay. Still won. Mali broken. You heard it here first. But yeah, basically fighting when you didn't need to, fighting into a losing comp, and fighting against high attack units never goes too well. So yeah, Dirtus moving on. He will wait for either Bucephale or Meowasis, which let's see if we can catch that real quick while they're still going. If they're still going. Meowasis is in game, okay, so we can actually look into that. Let's click on Observe Match. And while we're doing that, I will just check out Dirtus, where he is sitting at. Yeah, he's Conqueror 2. So he is, yeah, really good player again. Playing a lot of Warchief Club, also playing top bracket, regularly playing there, and regularly playing a really solid game there. And speaking of solid game, let's see the other semifinals game. Bucephale playing the Abbasid in the bottomish corner on it's Dry Arabia again, against Meowasis playing the Rus in purple. We'll speed up just a little bit because they're already going and we don't want to miss too much from the finals. So we'll speed it up for the first couple minutes, maybe the 10-15 minutes, we'll see. And just make sure that we catch the live when the final begins, because one of them, either one of these players, is going to meet Dirtus in the final best of 3. So let's take a quick look. Ruse opened with 2 hunting cabins, then into the Golden Gate, very standard here. Then it deviated slightly, I would say, with the archery ranges. Usually or oftentimes at least, you see pro scouts from Ruse, so you would expect, well, yeah, that's the thing, you wouldn't expect a stable because you already can produce them from the hunting camp, and there's professional scouts, so we will see that. But he was opening with the archers into, let's double check, yeah, into the military wing from the Abbasid. So the initial 2 spearmen, 2 archers get deflected really well here by the couple of archers. Scouts doing a little bit of damage, but they're not early knights, so not really super impressive here. But it's a good distraction, you know. Sometimes you can like force your opponent to maybe pull them from the food if they're scared for a second, or if they don't pay attention for a minute, then you actually get a kill. So yeah. Why not? Why not do that? If you have the APM, if you have the units to sit there, especially while he's waiting for pro scouts anyway, he can just do that. And now, yeah, he's moving out to this deer pack here first. Ideally, of course, he would love to take this deer pack, but Bucephale is already there, so it's kind of tough to get to that. Horsemen rather. Circling around here while the wall is getting constructed, so killing that villager here. A good first villager kill. And still we only have archers and 1 single early knight, another one in queue. I mean, Rus doesn't really like spearmen. They don't hate it as much as the French, but they don't like to go into spearmen. And so you much rather have the the early knights. The horsemen, yeah, super strong against them. Of course, losing 1, but he killed a couple archers, so overall good value here. Scout needs to be careful. At the same time, spearmen need to be careful here for the archers. So overall, good counter system here. Another villager kill on the gold. So because the pro scouts hasn't paid off really as much at the moment, yeah, we see a couple villagers being idle right now. Meowasis is actually forced to go on gold, which is really unfortunate. That's not something you want to do as Ruse, like pre-15 minute or something along those lines. If the game goes well, you just pick up the deer, and then you have enough food and gold. Yeah, basically until you go for the castle age, and then you get the high trade house, which also gives you more gold. You have the hunting cabins, which give you passive gold, and that's what you usually like to do. The knights will take care of that spearman charging into that, and now you finally get back to the deer pack. Meanwhile, Eco Wing is coming up for Bucephale, so he is reaching castle age, and Meowasis is not really close there. He does have a couple tickets, so he could. Well, I mean, he could sell something, but he doesn't have something to sell right now. He could sell wood. That's usually what you do as Roos. You have a very strong wood eco, and then you just sell wood. Horseman shoot. Wow, beautiful. Getting that villager. I mean, not beautiful for Meowasis, obviously, but a good value here. Killing one villager before going down. Eco Wing is coming up in just in seconds. There it is, and Meowasis now has to make the decision. What do you do with that? Do you run into that because your opponent right now doesn't really benefit from the castle age? Or do you retreat, go back, and try to go castle age yourself? And he's going for the aggressive approach, denying gold. Very important, also denying food. Yeah, very good, very solid, strong decision here at the same time. At the same time, archers not where they needed to be, and knights getting shredded here by the camel riders and the spearmen. And does he have? Let's take a quick look here. Yeah, he does have boot camp. Very nice. You often see players don't go for boot camp when they go for the military wing, which always boggles my mind. So he has a strong spearman. They also have the phalanx, and so their spears are a lot like. They have more range, so they're a lot longer, you know. Their pokey sticks are a little bit more pokey. And yeah, Camel Rider, brutally against the knights. Just, you know, it's basically, there's two reasons why it's countering that. It does extra damage against cavalry, and it also has the camel unease, which decreases the enemy damage from cavalry by 20%. And so the knights do less damage and get more damage from them, which, yeah, really strong, really annoying to deal with. There we have the high trade house. 35 trees is a little bit sad. If he had more map control, he could put it somewhere here, and then you would potentially cover a little bit more, or just put it here, and that maybe that would even be better. I'm not sure, but potentially. Is that okay? No, it's not. It's not. It's a very good attempt, very close, but the camel riders actually breaching through here. They are light cavalry, like light infantry. Not infantry. They're light armored units, so the archers deal decent damage against them. But yeah, let's see. Meanwhile, Bucephale, he went for the Eco Wing and went into the 3 TCs. He doesn't have agriculture yet, but once he is really going into the farm transition, then that tech really becomes super valuable. So yeah, there you go. Perfect play. You can tell that both players, they're really good players. They know exactly what they're doing. They have their build order memorized. They're getting the techs when they matter and not when they have the resources for them, which is really important to just, you know, figure out when to do what, and they're really good at that. So yeah, kudos to Bucephale playing that almost, I would say, textbook Abbasid here. Aggression into eco. Really good to see that. And Roos, which is a very strong civilization, a very strong civ, kind of struggling at the moment. I mean, you know, not counting him out or whatever, like nothing like that, but really struggling against all that aggression from Bucephale. Uh, Ruse also moving into a second T-Seer here, which is getting scouted by the Camel Rider, so even though he dies, he killed a villager again, really nice, and also scouted that, so that is some good information that he has. So he can feel very comfortable with the 3 TCs because he knows he's already ahead and his opponent is just trying to catch up, and his opponent invested a lot of resources into another TC, which he already has, so he doesn't have to fear a heavy castle aggression by Ruse right now. And I mean, this is mainly archers. It's not something that will kill you immediately. Meanwhile, yeah, he also has some very nice uh, army mass here, denying the boar as well, which there's still 1,000 food on it, why not? And this, it looked good for Ruse until, oh my goodness, until the mangonel shot a couple times, and that was rough. Um, I would almost say that was game ending. Losing your archer mass like that is really brutal in these situations and on this kind of level. You know, if it's a lower level, if it's gold players, whatever, you can make a big mistake and still come back just because your opponent doesn't know how to capitalize on your mistake. With these kind of players, you know, Conqueror 1, Conqueror 2, you're not gonna see that. Like, really solid play here by Bucephale. Um, Extremely well played, super cool aggression, really strong eco. Uh, yeah, awesome play. Definitely brutal fight here for Ruse. Absolutely brutal fight here for Ruse as well. And then you just lose your military advantage, and you don't have the eco advantage. It's going to get worse and worse for you at this point. Abbasid is a really strong late game civ. They take a little bit to set up, you know, to be fair. But once they're setting up, they are one of the strongest late game ecos that we currently have. And yeah, so GG for Bucephale. And I really hope I don't butcher these names. I really hope that I'm kind of sort of giving them justice here. So Bucephale playing against Dirtus in the finals. We see here they just started a couple minutes ago. Okay, let's see. So Bucephale is also French. So Dirtus is French and Bucephale is French. So they're talking French in chat. Tu as le lien map draft? Non, et toi? Non. Go demande sur le Discord. Cool. I understood half of that. So, Bucephale, which... Let's double check. How would you pronounce that if it would be French? Bucephale? Bucephale, probably, yeah. Bucephale. So maybe it's Bucephale. Or Bucephale. Either or. Let's see. Need to get out here. Can I just see the attendees here? Why is that not working? Okay, let's see. Do I not have them on a friend list? I thought I had Dirtus on my friends list. Dirtus. Is he offline? Hmm. Okay, so Bucephale is from Belgium, which they also speak French and Dutch there. So, and I believe Flemish, like some other language as well. I think so. Multi language country. Let's see if I can find it in the custom observable here. Not really. Why do I not? Okay, so basically they said that they wanna discuss this in Discord, which um, would be nice if they just did it in Start GG. Oh, they're asking for the draft link, that's why. How does it draft to the finals? Ah, okay. The map draft is done in chat. Oh. Yeah, Jaxos is on that. So they haven't started yet, that's why. They will still need to do the draft, the map draft first, and then they'll do the Civ draft afterwards. So let's see. Yeah, but so this is gonna be a best of three. Bucephale, Dirtus, they have a very strong record in this tournament so far. Let's just check that real quick if I can find that out. Top record standings. Standings. Da-da-dum. So yeah, Dirtus, he won 4 games and lost 1, and Bucephale won all 5. So and Dirtus only lost 1 game against Bucephale. So yeah, that should be a good map. Rematch from Dirtus and Bucephale. They played against each other in the Swiss phase already. But yeah, should be a really good game. Which one did they play against? Let's check that while we're waiting. They started banning the maps now. So Lipany is going to get banned for now, and then oh, Carmel is banned, and then Lipany is banned. Okay. And then they said like if they want to do the first one on Dry Arabia, and then yeah, just skip the last part of the draft here. So let's see, top bracket Swiss. Which one did they play? Yeah, so the second round, Bucephale played against Dirtus, and Bucephale won. That was on Rocky River. So we might see a rematch soon on that map. They're starting on Dry Arabia first. Let's see, they're banning right now. I think I can actually put that in here. There you go. So on the fly draft, Dirtus playing the Chinese against Bucephale with the French, and Dirtus also banned Chinese and Bucephale banned Holy Roman Empire. So they didn't want to have any of that. So Chinese against French on Dry Arabia. Alright, yeah, cool. Very cool to see that. Let's move that back to the bracket. Loading. So yeah, they'll start fairly soon. Let's see if I can actually find that. That would be disappointing if that wouldn't work now. Dirtus is online now. Okay. So we'll just have to wait. Okay, in the meantime, because I haven't really mentioned King of the Rockies yet. So in 2 weeks, October 24 to 26, we'll be hosting King of the Rockies 2025 in Denver, in Colorado, in yeah, North America. Um, and this is going to be a super exciting tournament. Let's see if I can find. Yeah, so we're gonna have a couple of cool and amazing and well-known Rising Empires casters. So Yak will be there, Askeladd, Beal will be there. We'll also have Dr. Dabston and Sockerton. Crackety will be there as a caster as well. And for our French players, like nationality French, Eliona will also be there on site and will be casting in French. So, très bien, you could say. For the players, we have Marine Lord, we have MSNDK, Valdemar, we have Puppy Paw, Myriad, and I Am Magic, and Wham and Louis MT basically automatically qualified because they won our last two LAN events, and so we had them as direct invites. And so these players are going to, um, yeah, to face against each other. And yeah, again, 2 weeks. You can go there and watch it and experience it all live. If you live in the area, if you want to go out there, we're selling tickets. We also sell pretty cool merch like t-shirts and hoodies there that you can buy to support us, to support the tournament. Um, Financially, I think we're mostly covered, but any excess donations or revenue from merch and ticket sales will go towards the prize pool, which currently is sitting at $15,000, sponsored by World's Edge. But yeah, you can increase that even further if you want to support us and especially the players. So yeah, there is that, and let's see if we can find the game at the moment. Dirtus is still showing as online. Did they say anything in chat? No, they didn't. Okay, so I'm guessing that there might be an issue with the client. So since I was talking about, King of the Rockies, I will just switch over to showing the trailer, and in the meantime, hopefully we'll have the game ready.
The villagers.
Oh, they
Puppy
by.
didn't pay attention.
He's busy because mango shots happening in the main front. Big fire hitting the back line of crossbows.
Maybe the dervishes can try to kind of out-heal the speed. No, this is not a good one. The horseman diving into it. Bucephale's going invis.
He's gonna catch it.
Oh no!
And they're here.
Oh!
Just like that. This is what I was afraid of. They just blink out of nowhere, and both mangoes get taken out. Villagers even pulling their shivs. GUA says, I need everything I can to take this fight. I'm down in the numbers, but I think the shivs were able to help clear up those spears, and he didn't really lose many villagers for that.
The Tower of the Sultan coming out from Wham, hiding it in the woods. Boy, yeah. You don't see this thing too very often. And here comes the lumbering giant itself, the Tower of the Sultan. What a fun unit to see. Big fight in the middle, crossbows, Arbitrier coming in, and we have quite a mass of Japanese units.
I was gonna ask you that. What's next for King of the Rockies?
King of the Rockies too.
Whoa, coming into play. He's going.
Uh-oh.
Oh my God, no.
No way!
Oh my God, it's over.
So yeah, pretty exciting stuff. I won't be there in person, but I will be cheering from the sidelines, back from here, back in good old Germany, and again we'll have an amazing set of casters there. Again, Yak, Askeladd, Beal, some Rising Empires casters that we know really well. Sultanate has been casting for Rising Empires as well a couple times. He's been casting for EGC even the same as Beal has done. Then Dr. Dabson, also a very, very good and very well-known caster, and then of course Crackety. the man, the myth, the legend, and Aliona for our French-speaking friends as well. So that's gonna be super, super exciting. Speaking about super exciting, I do hope that we'll find their game. Dirtus is showing as online still. And if I go into the custom observe thingy, I do not see them. Boom, 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 boom. The last message is like 8 minutes ago, so they should be playing already. Well, I mean, it could be that they didn't put it observable, technically. Oh, they do it. There it is. Why? Okay, cool. Thank you, client. Well, the good thing is we will not run into any kind of observer delay. That's for damn sure. So let's switch the scene. I'm still loading into it, but we can already watch. There you go. Watch the loading screen. So they're gonna start the first game of this best of 3 series on Dry Arabia. Bucephale playing the French, as a Belgium player, and Dirtus starting it off with the Chinese, opening on the mill with the sheep. Could definitely indicate Pro Scout, could also just be that he's like, you know what, I might as well generate taxes already, and I will need you need the mill at some point anyway, for several reasons, also because of the berries here. So could be for Pro Scouts, but it doesn't need to be. We'll see. We'll see. Bucephale on the other side, 7 on food, now rallying onto gold. Just, yeah, French things. Just, yeah. Nothing too crazy here. He does have enough wood to go for a mill and then the Dark Age wheelbarrow if he wants to. That is something that you'll see from time to time. It delays your timing a little bit if you want to be aggressive. It's not really the greatest, but in general you can definitely do that. Villager just taking a hot second here to chill and then moving out again. So Dirtus relocated a little bit, so he had 3 on gold, now moving back to 2. So yeah, it doesn't look too much like Pro Scout for now. You would need, they buffed, or they nerfed it by buffing the cost, by increasing the cost. And so 150 wood, 300 stone as the base cost. For the French, that also would be a little bit cheaper. There you have the mill, so we can actually check. So it is quite a lot cheaper, just because the French get the eco tax cheaper. And so for them it is valuable to go for it, just because it is still cheaper for them than for other civs. And yeah, but Dirtus doesn't look like he's going for that. 150 wood is a lot of wood to collect. Right now he's still 9 on food. There we have Imperial Academy, so yeah, then he'll move into an Imperial Official, grab all this juicy tax gold, and probably also supervise the mill so he can produce a lot more. He is moving out on wood now, so I'm not too familiar with the Chinese build orders, so maybe that is exactly how you do it, and we might still see Pro Scouts. So yeah, definitely an option. Bucephale building the School of Cavalry, also no surprise there. He started with 2, now he moved up to 4, and then he'll put them, some of them at least, put them back on gold. And yeah, also like slowly moving out on wood now, just a little bit. You don't even need a lot of wood usually as French, but yeah, it is nice. Also, wheelbarrow is starting up, so there's a slight eco advantage there. And with the faster building speed from the Chinese villagers, and the fact that he started a little bit faster. Dirtus will be in feudal age, even though he started, even though he only has 2 villagers on the Imperial official or Imperial Academy. And there we have it, and Q. Yeah. So, like a patch ago, we definitely would have seen Pro Scout on Pro Scout action here. With the current patch, with the current meta, I'm not so sure. It wouldn't surprise me, really, if we wouldn't see Pro Scouts from either player, or at least not from both players. We do have the Royal Knight here in queue, there it is. And yeah, okay. Bucephale is just moving out onto the deer, and then you don't really need to have Pro Scouts if you're just taking them. He has one more pack relatively, like on his side at least. So that would be possible to take, and for Dirtus it's kind of the same. There's Steer here in the back, which is kind of safe for him, and this one is also on his side. If he puts a wall up here and then one here, then this is also kind of safe. So yeah, neither player doesn't really, they don't need Pro Scouts to actually make it work. Good scouting here by Dirtus, so he knows about the knight. There's already 2 spearmen out in the field because of the supervision. They're just super fast, and there's no villager on gold anymore. So for now, this Royal Knight cannot find anything of value. Dirtus kind of floating a little bit of wood here. Not looking for a second TC, so that's not what he's going for. It basically is for the fact that this Imperial official is supervising the lumber camp, and that's why he's floating so much wood, even though he only has like 5 villagers on wood. Yeah, meanwhile we just have villagers here taking the deer. Bucephale, I mean 6 villagers on wood, that's not super heavy, so he's right now not really looking. I mean, he's going for an archery range, but okay, 9 villagers now on wood, and now running back on food. So yeah, looking for the classic archer Royal Knight comp, or Royal Knight archer comp rather. Dirtus moving out with the spearman, but pretty blind. Also, there's some Royal Knights here. Oh no, did I? How did I do that again? I just did team colors. How did I do that? I always forget how that. Anyway, for now we have the colors a little bit reversed here. I'm gonna figure it out. Okay, I can't figure this out. Why is this not working? Let me see. Okay, UI. Should be team colors, right? Or is it graphics? No. Online is something different. Game? Ah, there you go. Unique. Alright, back to the real colors. So Chinese is red again, and French is blue, yellow again rather, not blue. So yeah, there we have it. Spearman, I think that was a little bit of a misstep here by Dirtus to move out with the Spearman. He did find some idle time here, so at least he pushed Bucephale off of the deer. But at the same time, only Spearman, and you kind of expect your opponent to go archers, can be a little bit tricky. Royal Knight barely making it out alive here. Spearman almost finding a kill here, and Bucephale just circling around the base here with his knights. He has 4 knights, and they're not. He has 3 knights, And they're not, neither one of them is in the same spot. Ooh, this one also almost dying. Horseman actually could kill this because it's so low health. If you want to compete, like, yeah, commit to that, you could actually kill that Royal Knight. So losing one, the other one is almost dead, so you do definitely need Chivalry. There it is coming up. So you can get that up to full health slowly. Dirtus almost, he does have enough gold now to go up to Castle Age. He doesn't have the food for now, but could, I mean, he's running out of food. He needs to find a solution to that. So either you go Pro Scouts, which he doesn't have, or, yeah, or you, actually, never mind, he is going for Pro Scouts now. So kind of a delayed Pro Scouting, but he still should get 2 and potentially this pack as well. And Bucephale is just, you know, kind of confused probably as to like where can he even find some damage. Scout taking the charge, and Bucephale figured out now that the deer is where it's at. And yeah, it makes sense. I mean, we're 10 minutes into the game, and you're kind of running out of the sheep that you have originally. And so, yeah, you need to figure something out. Either you go for a full farm position, which the Chinese hate more than most other civs, or you go for Pro Scouts. Those are basically the 2 options. Or you just forfeit the game. That's the 3rd option, I guess. But yeah, that's neither here nor there. Yeah, they're getting their steps in. Very nice. And yeah, I mean, you could go for a mill here again, and this also just put a mill here. That will also be valuable. Knights trying to find some damage, but 10 and a half minutes in, we haven't seen a single villager kill. And currently, Chinese is actually a little bit ahead. Speaking of villager kill, almost getting a kill here, but that Royal Knight actually should lose its life against the horsemen just because they're faster. They're not doing super much damage, but yeah, 6 damage per hit, and there's the last one. So that Royal Knight is going down as well. Yeah, and Dirtus is feeling really happy with just all these spearmen. Like, yeah, he doesn't have map control, but because of the Pro Scouts and because of the horsemen that are, you know, moving out and harassing the scout and the knights as well if they're super low health, he's feeling fine. Like he does have to, he has enough food, he does have enough gold, he's super close to aging up. He's still in Tang Dynasty, so he's not looking for the Song Dynasty and then potentially 2TC. But for now, just Tang Dynasty into some kind of fast castle here. And the spearmen they're well enough to just to keep him safe, to keep his base and his villagers safe. No walls at all at the moment. Good raid coming in here. Finally finding some villager kills. That must feel liberating for Bucephale. To finally get some villager kills, scout getting killed, and also 2 knights. Ooh. While you're losing a knight, 2 knights against a villager. We actually don't see Chinese going into the castle age, but rather the Barbican of the Sun getting dropped. Curious positioning. I mean, it is kind of covering the goal, but the berries almost ran out. There's almost no sheep here anymore. It's only 2 deer. Yeah, there's no sheep, 2 deer carcasses. I mean, you could go for a Barbican around here and then cover gold, stone, and berries, but that's really far out there. This will save you against some raids. That's for sure. It's not only damage, it's also 8 garrison slots. So yeah. But it delays the castle age, so I think Dirtus would have loved to be castle by now. and Bucephale is just keeping up the pressure. He's walling off the right side for now, just to be safe against some raids. And then, yeah, these deer packs, or these deer, they are his, same as that boar here. And these deer are still able to be taken. Shuganu, oh sorry, it's archers still. I have a cool looking bow actually, really nice. Getting a hit here from the knights, but they need to respect the spearmen. And there we finally have. There, okay, I was like, Imperial. Why would you go? Well, yeah, why would you not go for the astronomical clock tower? Imperial Palace. I am not good at seeing the value of that. To be perfectly honest, I'm not a Chinese player. I have no idea how you would use that effectively, other than in like late game team games situations. But the clock tower, that is some very basic and obvious value that you get. You get better siege. That's like perfect. What else would you want to have in Castle Age? But yeah, since we're Song Dynasty, so we actually do have access to the Shuganu now, which yeah, Chinese doesn't have access to that until they're in the Song Dynasty. Archers a little bit out of position here as the age up comes through. Knights feasting on that, and Bucephale now trying to get as much damage as possible while Dirtus is still kind of, you know, vulnerable, not having the veteran techs. The scout also losing his life here, so should be fine. He has 4 scouts still, so he can just take the remaining deer. It shouldn't be an issue. This scout also losing his life, so down to 3 scouts. Again, still fine, still enough to make it work. And just chasing down the knights in a kind of futile attempt to kill them. Ooh, if you can corner them, then you can actually kill them. But no, Bucephale able to make it out alive as his age up comes through. Is moving in the why? Oh gosh, that was not on purpose. I guarantee it. He lost 3 knights while he aged, like just as the age up came in, because of bad pathing or not being careful at that point. Beautiful. Now that was okay. Yeah, I mean, okay, now it's moving again. It looked cool when it was sliding that way. Good here, safe from his fellow knight friends. But yeah, man, losing 3 knights like that is rough. That is brutal. Dirtus moving into more and more barracks. He is up to 3. Well, sorry. Where is it? There are 4 barracks, 3 archery rangers and 1 citadel alone, just for Pro Scouts. So a lot of times you see Chinese moving into like, Chinese entries this legacy, going fast castle, Pro Scouts fast castle into Lancers, and we do have a Lancer, but we also have a ton of spearmen and a sizable amount of archers, now also veteran, and that is a very difficult comp for French to deal with. Amazing raid here, brutal that Dirtus is not seeing that apparently. Killing so many villagers in the woodland, just villager after villager. 15 villagers right now and just trickling in more and more. And just because Dirtus needs to double down now, find some damage here. And I mean potentially will, but at the same time, spearman numbers are pretty low on his side. I mean, it seems to be low. It's still 13, 12, yeah, 12 spearmen, but doesn't really have a good way to deal with the archers. That's his issue right now. He would love to have some lancers at his side right now. And Bucephale did an amazing job here with the raid. Killed so many villagers and really put Dirtus on a timer now. Because it's for him it's like, okay, if you can make it work, if you can make that push work, which doesn't seem to be the case, then you can end the game right here, right there. If you can't, you have French against you, who also have a kind of budget Song Dynasty with 17 seconds. So now Dirtus is in Song Dynasty for a while, and he has a quicker, faster villager production with 15 seconds. So he can make that work and maybe make it work without a second town center, but he's way behind right now. That is really a tough gap to fill, to close. And while I'm saying this is exactly what happened. He just doubled down on the aggression. He didn't, back down. And Dirtus rather, Bucephale needed to tap out here. Incredible. I certainly guessed that after such a lead and then this gap, this raid, that it would have been over for Dirtus. But yeah, he still had too many units, and I don't know. Okay, I think if Bucephale would have seen what we can see with that, I think he would have continued. But yeah, I don't know. Good play by Dirtus to still make it work and come out ahead. I definitely thought that this would have been it for Dirtus. I definitely thought that this was over. But yeah, he made it work. So he's up 1-0 in this best of 3. Okay, Bucephale just said in chat on French that he cannot play French again. So they're gonna play on bridges now. And okay, alright. Let's see if they already started it. Oh yeah, they did. Yeah, I mean we're like close to 5 minutes behind, so while we were closing up the game, they already did the draft, and they're already back into the next game, so we can switch that over as well while we're loading into it. Gonna have a small observer delay, but yeah, best of 3, second game. Dirtus, who's up 1-0, playing the House of Lancaster. Bucephale playing the Sultanate on bridges. So we did see bridges earlier today already. I personally wasn't able to play it today because on game 3 I didn't have an opponent. But really fun map. Really cool. You're gonna see in a second if you don't know it already. And good for Delhi, not in a broken way, but definitely not a bad way. And you see it right here. So with the sacred sites, one on the top island, one pretty much in the middle of the map, and then the other one on the lower island, which doesn't really have anything except for a couple straggler trees. So it's not something like, you don't have a sacred site here, or like I don't know, like somewhere like behind your opponent or like close to your opponent's base. It's the distance to the sacred sites is exactly the same for all players, and so that is it's good for you because you don't have to go for like a weird sacred site. It's also like bad in the sense that it's not as easily to defend, but it is what it is. So yeah, Bucephale playing Delhi on this side, on the east side, and Dirtus playing House of Lancaster and actually opening with the barracks and the spearmen. And let's check out real quick what he sees. He sees nothing. Okay, well, he knows the map, and he knows that gold usually is just right outside of your TC. And so if we're taking a look over here, we see that this is exactly the case. And it gets even better. So the wood line is in your range, that is cool. But the berries are almost completely outside of, like if you stand with a spearman here, you can basically deny the berries as well. And then the gold is also outside of that TC range. So right now he's just circling around, and luckily for Bucephale, Dirtus hasn't scouted that yet, so he doesn't know exactly how to approach that. He knows that his opponent's TC must be somewhere here, but he doesn't know exactly where it is. He sees there's a wood line here, and now he sees the TC. He doesn't know where the gold is. That's another thing. Like, it could be somewhere here. It could be down here. It could be back here. It is here. He doesn't know that yet, and so for now he will be able to deny the food. Villagers pulling their shivs. It kind of sounded like, it seemed like he's screaming, "Oh no, please let me go!" But they didn't let him go. And the scholar can actually just, jump out, heal it back up, jump back in. Now scouted out the gold, but is not too concerned about the gold, which, smart move. He can probably guess that he already is on the way to having enough gold. He doesn't really need to deny the gold. That's not really going to work against Delhi. But denying the food will just delay the feudal age so much. And if you can already have a sizable amount of spearmen, yeomen out on the field, then it doesn't matter with the Ghazis. Dome of the Faith coming up. Probably didn't see that one coming. I mean, he knows what is happening. Obviously, he knows that Dome of the Faith is being built, but doesn't know the timing as of yet. Abbey of Kings on the other side. So yeah, just something we saw a lot more recently, with Lords spam, and then either following up with Delhi, with Spearmen, or with the Hobolas, which are super annoying to deal with. I actually played against the House of Lancaster earlier, and it was brutal. Because, yeah, he went 3 manners into Lord of Lancaster Hobolas spam, and it was insane how much units he got out there, how many units he got out. It was absolutely insane. I couldn't believe it. But yeah. So Dirtus moving back from his aggression, just saving the spearmen for now. He can heal them up here close to the Abbey of Kings. So the difference, for those who don't know, the Abbey of Kings for House of Lancaster is a little bit different than the Abbey of Kings for English. So you don't get a king, you do get Lords of Lancaster. You can build up to 4, that's this little UI over here. And each of them each of them increases the health of nearby units by 5%. Which doesn't sound like much, but if you have 4 of them, it's 20% more health. So instead of 80 HP, you're at like close to 100. So they're really a lot more tankier. The Lords also don't have healing themselves, but the Abbey of Kings still heals. And it heals a lot more, by the way. 6 health every second. Which is a lot. Like, look at this now. Just let's take a look here. Zack, zack, zack. There you go. It's insane. Like, of course, it's only out of combat, but yeah, really valuable. And so yeah, really nice. There you have some lords here. Yeah, so nearby military units, 5% max health. And the cool thing also is it's military units. It's not infantry. It's not melee. It's military units. Plain and simple. There you go. It's already, 4 health doesn't seem like much, but again, then you have 16 health extra, which means you have 96 health instead of 80. So yeah, for aggression, that is really, really strong. In late game, if you're having things like the Knights, that also is really strong. So, or yeah, the Lancaster, the Earth Guards, the Man-at-Arm replacement, they're also really tanky with that as well. So, just super annoying to do that. They're also buffing themselves as well, so they're also pretty tanky. So yeah, enough about that for now. Delhi on the other side, we do have a couple scholars. Ooh, there's also one here in queue. That's not really what I want to do here. Don't have Sanctity yet. That's gonna take another minute, close to a minute. And yeah, you can see like so much health. And yeah, same thing again. Like he doesn't heal himself or other units, but you can just pull him back, heal him up here for 20 seconds, and then you move out again. So as long as you don't lose it, it's not a big deal. You don't want to lose them. They're not super expensive, but they're also not super cheap. So it's kind of, yeah, you don't want to lose them basically. Meanwhile, scholars are moving out to the sacred sites, at least to the bottom one. And this one might go and branch out to the top one. The cool thing is with the river, like it doesn't do anything in terms of fishing production. There's no food here, no fish at all. But it's just a natural wall, so you can just put a small wall here, especially with Delhi, when you can do it with your infantry units. You just put a small wall here, and then you cover the whole quarter of the map, of the upper part of the map here. Hovelas being revealed. Yeah, so close to dying. Both the scout and the Hoveler only. Yeah, 2 more hits needed. Actually, it would have been 3 more hits, I guess. 4, because of the armor. So they do have quite a nice ranged armor, which makes them really strong, unfortunately, against diving town centers. So they're not your regular horsemen, even though they don't have a lot of health. Like usually they have 100 health, and now they're buffed as well again by the Lords of Lancaster. But the armor really makes a difference when they're diving. So yeah, don't underestimate them, rather. That can be fatal. Taking a sip. So, what is happening? No, you don't want to go there. Villager trying to build the wall, but yeah, you don't want to do that. I would actually love to see if you do that with your military units, not with the villager who's trying to go out for some more. Okay, so barely making it out alive. So yeah, this will still be in Bucephale's possession. That scout will not be able to really contest it, and then yeah, you can build a wall, and exactly as I said earlier, there's 2 points of entry here. There's one bridge and there's a second bridge, and that's it. Of course you can do some shenanigans like building a dock, moving over with a transport ship. That's always fun, but it's also heavy investment, so you usually don't. You reserve that for the late game. Let's put it that way. Second site getting also decapped, but Bucephale already has almost enough gold to move into the castle age, so he's not. I mean, yeah, you like to have it, but he's not super concerned about that at the moment. What he should be concerned about is this raid coming in, killing the reinforcements and also one villager. I don't know if that died here or at an earlier stage. But yeah, that's some good aggression here from Dirtus, trying to slow down Delhi a little bit. And also has a sizable army. I mean, they could go toe to toe against each other, and with the Lords of Lancaster, they're heavy melee infantry, so you don't really have a counter against them in Feudal Age. And they also buff your units, so you're effectively 20% more health. And yeah, if you don't use units like that, at least. But yeah, for now, doesn't really have the yeoman numbers to deal with the spearmen. That's his main issue at the moment. You do have the front line, you have a couple spearmen, you do have the Lords of Lancaster. And now Hobula is moving out on top of the archers, trying to find some damage there. Some more here in the back, trying to fight against the reinforcements. And looks like Bucephale kind of bit more than he could chew. Wow. And if I'm not completely mistaken, that means that Dirtus really did win 2-0 in 12 minutes. One deciding fight against Delhi. I think Bucephale could have, you know, hung in there a little bit longer. Like, yeah, he did lose a lot, but he was also still there, and it's Delhi. You know, you can still make it work if you need to. So yeah, maybe a little bit too surrendered a little bit too soon for my taste, but at the same time, you have the weaker eco, you have the manners against you. You are now castle age at this point, and you just lost a good chunk of your army. I guess it's a fair assessment to say, you know what, I'm not gonna recover from this. It's fine. So yeah, Dirtus, he did, you know, let's see, he did lose one game earlier, and the only game that he lost was against Bucephale, and now he actually pulled ahead and winning this 2-0. Yeah, Dirtus is good. Again, like, he's a regular in our War Chief Club. He is a regular in our Low Elo Legends top bracket. And so I'm not surprised that he did so well. I just thought earlier, like before the series, I kind of thought that Bucephale would be a little bit more even. But at the same time, you know, just checking their elo, Dirtus is a little bit ahead. So Dirtus currently sitting at Conqueror 2, and Bucephale Diamond 1. His highest was Diamond 3 this season. So also a very good player. But yeah, Dirtus, just a different kind of beast, you know. So and I do want to check. Okay, I know what. Yeah, I didn't play against either of them today. That would have been a disaster as well. So GG Dirtus winning 2-0 against Bucephale. French-Belgium friendship here. Hopefully not hurt too much.